Revealed. How one woman turned a shocking slap into an amazing life-changing birthday celebration. Jessica had always been the heartbeat of the small suburban neighborhood she called home. A 30-year-old single mother, she juggled 2 jobs, weekends filled with extra shifts, and a little boy who needed her more than anything. Yet on the brink of her birthday, life threw her a gut-wrenching punch. Her boss, having overlooked her relentless dedication and talent, denied her a long-awaited promotion. The reasons felt heavy with biases shaped by her economic situation, leaving her breathless, as if someone had punched her square in the stomach. Tears pricked at the corners of her eyes as she stood in the laundry room, the window wide open, a warm breeze swirling around her. The sweet scent of blooming lilacs floated in, but Jessica barely noticed. Instead, memories of her father crept in, a decorated veteran haunted by his own shadows. His sudden reappearance in her life only added to the confusion swirling in her heart. With her self-doubt high, the looming birthday felt like a weight she couldn't bear. As the community event approached, anxiety clung to her like a familiar sweater. Standing in the town center, she felt like a paper doll amongst giants, visible yet invisible. But the hugs and warm wishes from her neighbors shone like stars in the dark night. Mrs. Baker baked her favorite chocolate cake, while the kids organized a small stage performance, pouring their little hearts into every song. Each gesture tugged at Jessica's soul, igniting a flicker of hope amid her despair. Before we continue, I need to let you know about something important that's happening. YouTube has been making changes to the system, and many people are losing notifications from channels they follow. If you're enjoying the content, hit that bell and mark all notifications so you don't miss the next videos. And if you can drop a like, it really helps me with reach. Seriously, it makes a difference. Oh, let me know in the comments where you're watching from. I'm always curious to know who's on the other side of the screen. Now let us continue. With her birthday party looming, the atmosphere shifted. Her estranged father unexpectedly showed up, his eyes searching for acceptance. Just as she prepared to crumble, the town burst into cheers and applause. They honored her with kind words, tenderness wrapping around her like a warm blanket. The realization settled in. She was more than her struggles, more than her failures. She was a beacon of resilience. Standing before her friends and neighbors, Jessica felt a wave of transformation wash over her. As she began to embrace her worth, the applause echoing, offering a backdrop to her internal battle. Her father's presence felt different. It blended the old with the new, drawing connections she thought irreparably snapped. Just as the local news station arrived to capture the buzz of the celebration, she took a deep breath and found her voice. This was her moment, to turn pain into a powerful platform. Could she really forgive him? Could they weave a new story from the fragments of their past? As the camera rolled, she realized that her mission was more than personal healing. It was about igniting change. Just like that, the doors of possibility burst wide open. What would unfold in the chapters ahead? The crowd's cheers beat like a drum in Jessica's chest. She felt alive, her heart racing with a mixture of excitement and fear. The camera's lens glinted in the sunlight, a silent witness to her transformation. This was the crucial moment to share her truth, to expose the vulnerability she had kept close for so long. Thank you, everyone. She began, her voice trembling slightly as she stepped forward. This day has reminded me of what truly matters: the love we give and receive, and the strength we find in our community. A sea of encouraging faces beamed back at her, their warmth lifting her spirit even higher. Jessica glanced at her father, standing a few steps behind, blending in with the crowd. He looked older, worn down by the years lost and regrets piled high. His presence was an unsteady anchor, pulling her towards the tumultuous waters of forgiveness. Life hasn't been easy, she continued, her voice gaining strength. I've faced challenges that made me question my worth, my abilities. She paused, swallowing hard, feeling the weight of the unsaid lingering in the air. But today I choose to rise above those moments. I choose to embrace my journey. Her neighbors listened, eyes sparkling and nodding understandingly. They felt her pain, resonated with her struggles. Jessica could sense the collective energy support rippling through the crowd, wrapping around her like arms in a hug. Each face told a story of its own, reminding her that she was not alone. As she spoke, she spotted Mrs. Baker near the front, wiping away a heartfelt tear. The kids fidgeted, their excitement palpable as they gazed at her with wide, hopeful eyes. Jessica realized she wasn't just speaking to them. She was allowing them to see a real woman, one who stumbles but never stays down for long. "I want to share something personal," she said, glancing at her father again. "My father and we've had our differences." The air around her thickened with emotion. "But today, in front of all of you, I take the step toward healing." The crowd fell silent, all eyes glued to her as she stepped closer to her father. With each word hanging in the air, Jessica sensed the gravity of the moment. "Dad, I don't know if I can completely forgive you yet, but I can start with understanding." Her father's eyes glistened, and he seemed to shrink under the weight of her admission. "I see you're trying to be a better man," she continued, "and I want to acknowledge that." Before she knew it, the crowd erupted in applause, filling in the quiet that followed her words. Each clap felt like encouragement, pushing her toward a future she had yet to fully grasp. It wasn't just about forgiveness but about hope. Today marks a new beginning. She raised her arms, inviting everyone to celebrate the light that flickered in each of them. "Let us continue to uplift and support each other. Together we can turn our struggles into strength." With every cheer, every clap, Jessica felt walls crushing, barriers breaking. For the first time in years, she breathed out the burden she had tightly clung to. Her father took a step forward toward her, raising a hand timidly, almost unsure. Would she take it? And then, just as Jessica was about to answer, a shout rang out from the back of the crowd. "Jessica!" She turned, a knot tightening in her stomach. "What now?" Jessica's heart raced as she turned to follow the voice. Fear pierced through her, a sudden chill amidst the warmth of the crowd. Who was calling for her? She scanned the faces, trying to place the source. Suddenly, a figure emerged from the back, a familiar silhouette, unmistakable amidst the sea of spectators. It was Emily, her childhood friend, whose vibrant energy had always filled the room. But today something was different. Emily's face was flushed, her eyes wide with urgency. "Jessica!" She yelled again, and the crowd shifted, murmuring with intrigue. Jessica's stomach twisted. Could this be good news or something troubling? "Is everything okay?" Jessica stepped off the small stage, her voice low yet steady as she approached Emily. The noise of the crowd faded momentarily, leaving just the two of them on an island of tension. I saw him," Emily gasped, her breath quick. "Your father, he's here, someone from your past. He's near. I couldn't just stand by." Jessica's breath caught in her throat. "My father." Her thoughts reeled. She had finally begun confronting her feelings about him, yet the idea of an unexpected family encounter sent her emotions into free fall. "Not just your dad." Emily hesitated, glancing around as if expecting someone to leap from the shadows. "It's your mom. She's here too." The world around Jessica blurred. Her mother? After all those years of silence, she suddenly showed up at a moment like this? The complexities of her childhood rushed back. The laughter, the fighting, the pain. Jessica felt every unresolved conflict rise to the surface, demanding attention. "Are you sure?" Jessica asked, her voice just above a whisper. "I was just at the cafe down the street and saw them. They were together, talking. I had to find you. It's now or never, Jess." The weight of Emily's urgency crashed over her. All those moments building to this one. She had hoped for reconciliation, but were they ready? Did she even want this? Jessica turned, her gaze sweeping over the crowd that had been her footing all day. They were smiling, still cheering her breakthrough. But within her, confusion battled fear and yearning. This was the moment she had opened herself up for, wasn't it? Where are they?" Jessica asked, hesitating only a moment longer before seizing the chance fate was handing her. "Outside," Emily urged. "They said they were waiting. Please let us go." Jessica took a deep breath and nodded. The gentle buzz of the crowd faded as she followed Emily away from the warmth, into the unknown that loomed just outside. Each step felt heavier than the last, the air thick with anticipation. Would this reunion bring what she needed? Or would it deepen the wounds that had never fully healed? As they pushed through the crowd's edge toward the sunlight, Jessica's heart hammered. Was this truth or tragedy waiting ahead? What if she was unprepared for what they had to say? What if there was more pain buried there than she had expected? Just then, as they exited the festivities, a startling thought struck her. What if this was all a mistake? And what if, deep down, she wished things had stayed the same? Jessica felt as if the ground itself were tilting beneath her feet. The world outside the festival seemed too bright, too loud, the shouts of joy and laughter echoing strangely in her ears. When they finally stepped out into the daylight, she squinted against the sun, searching for the familiar faces that could either mend her heart or shatter it even further. Emily took her hand, squeezing it tight. "You don't have to do this alone," she whispered, grounding Jessica just as she teetered on the edge of her overwhelming emotions. Jess nodded, combating doubt with determination. "Thanks for being here." They hurried around the corner, and Jessica's heart quickened with every step. With each stride, she mentally braced herself, preparing for the joy, the anger, or the confusion that could erupt. As they approached the cafe where Emily claimed they were waiting, Jessica caught sight of two figures sitting at an outdoor table. The moments of hesitation felt endless. It was like standing at the precipice of a cliff, about to plunge into the unknown. And there they were. Her parents. Her father was hunched over, his hands cradling a cup of coffee, while her mother looked around, concerned eyes searching. The years had changed them, yet some things remained painfully recognizable: a furrowed brow here, a familiar gesture there. "Go on," Emily urged, nudging her gently. Jessica's heart sank. She felt small, lost in a tide of memories and emotions crashing relentlessly inside her. But she took a step forward, then another, as if her body knew what her mind was still fighting. "Mom, Dad," the words tumbled out, barely escaping her lips, quaking with a mix of anger and longing. Both of them turned, faces alight with surprise, then softened. Jessica's mother was the first to stand, eyes shimmering with unshed tears. "Jessica." And just like that, it felt like time collapsed in on itself. Jessica wanted to rush forward, to embrace her mother, to shout how she missed her all these years. But there was something else too. A simmering heat of betrayal and sorrow that bubbled beneath the surface. "Why are you here?" Jessica fought the urge to embrace them as she stood her ground, her voice strained but steady. "We wanted to see you. We didn't know if you'd want to see us," her father replied, voice fraught with a mix of hope and regret. "What do you think? I've spent years processing everything you left behind." The hurt burned in her chest, an old wound opened wide. "Jessica, please," her mother started, stepping forward while holding out her hands. But Jessica wasn't ready for gestures, not yet. "What's done is done. Why now?" A rush of silence enveloped them, thick and electric. Emily hung back, her eyes darting between the familial friction, sensing the fragile moment crackling in the air. Jessica's heart pounded wildly, fierce emotions fighting to take control. "Things weren't right," her mother said softly, tears finally spilling over. "But we want to try again if you'll let us." A flicker of hope danced inside Jessica, even as despair pulled her towards a darker path. "How do I know you won't leave again?" Her father opened his mouth to respond, but the hesitation painted across his face told her he didn't have the answers. Jessica felt the ache of reconciliation dramatically compete with the safety she built around her heart. Just as resolute as she was fragile, Jessica took a step back. "This isn't over. I need time to think." She turned, and for a moment, her gaze met Emily's. Her friend's steady encouragement felt like a lifeline. The weight of the moment bore down on her, echoing between what was unresolved and what was possible. As she walked away, Jessica felt the tears stinging her eyes, a mix of sadness and resolve in equal measure. She didn't know where this road led, but she felt the unmistakable spark of transformation igniting within her. And as the warmth of the sun washed over her, a new thought struck her. What if the hardest part was yet to come? Would her parents really fight for her? Or would this lead to further heartbreak? To the next chapter in her story, Jessica walked through the bustling streets, each step resonating with the uncertainty swirling in her mind. She barely noticed the laughter of festival-goers or the vibrant colors of decorations overhead. The heaviness in her chest overshadowed it all. Emily kept pace beside her, sensing the gravity of the moment. "Do you want to talk about it?" Emily's voice was gentle but firm, breaking through the haze in Jessica's mind. "I don't know," Jessica replied, her voice trembling. "What do I even say? It all feels so complicated." "Complicated is an understatement," Emily said, squeezing Jessica's hand. "But you don't have to carry that weight alone. We can figure it out together." Taking a deep breath, Jessica finally stopped walking, pressing her back against a cool brick wall. It's just I thought I was over it. Over them. And now, seeing my parents again, I feel everything all at once. The anger, the love, the confusion. It's like a tidal wave. Of course it is, Emily replied, her understanding gaze making Jessica feel less isolated. You're human. You loved them. And you were hurt. Those feelings don't just disappear. Jessica exhaled slowly, letting Emily's words sink in. I've built this life where I was okay on my own. The moment they walked back into my world, it shattered that illusion. Maybe it's not about shattering, Emily suggested. Maybe it's about rebuilding. You don't have to decide everything right now, Jess. Jessica closed her eyes, battling the emotions inside her. Could she allow herself to hope for something different? Would her heart be able to endure potential heartbreak again? She opened her eyes to the bright sky, sunlight dancing on the surface of her fears. What if they try and fail again? She whispered. What if I open up just to get hurt worse this time? Emily nodded, her brows knitted together in concern. But what if they actually mean it? What if this is a chance to mend things? Things can change, you know. People can change. I wish I could believe that, Jessica said, shaking her head. What if I'm just setting myself up for disappointment? Then at least you'll know you tried. You're stronger than you think, Emily encouraged, her voice steady and warm. Jessica took a moment, letting those words linger. Could she really give them another chance? The thought sparked something within her, a flicker of hope mingled with fear. Instead of being swept away, she wanted to stand her ground. Okay, she finally said, the word feeling bold and new. I'll talk to them again. But I won't let myself get swept away by their promises. I need boundaries. Exactly, Emily grinned, relief washing over her. And I'll be right here with you. You don't have to do this alone. Feeling a little more grounded, Jessica took a step away from the wall. She wouldn't shy away from this moment. She would face her parents, but on her terms. This time she wouldn't let them define their relationship in a way that left her broken. As they walked back towards the cafe, Jessica felt all the fear and doubt still swirling within her, but there was something else to resolve. She could navigate this tangled web of emotions and come out on the other side stronger. Just as they neared the cafe, a sharp voice cut through the crowd, startling Jessica. She turned to see a stranger point at her, a shocked expression spreading across their face. Is that you, Jessica? I can't believe you're here. The abruptness of it left Jessica's heart racing. Who was this person? Why did they recognize her? More importantly, what implications did this chance encounter hold for everything she was trying to resolve with her family? And in that moment, as the excitement and concern started to crash together, Jessica felt a new tension emerging, one she never expected. Jessica felt a ripple of unease wash over her as she turned to face the stranger. The face was familiar, yet she couldn't recall a name. The eyes sparkled with recognition, a mixture of disbelief and excitement. Wow, it really is you, the stranger exclaimed, stepping closer. I almost didn't believe it. We grew up together. Feels like a lifetime ago. Jessica's mind raced. She didn't need this right now. She was on the verge of confronting demons, rebuilding their shattered relationships, and now here was someone pulling her into memories she couldn't quite grasp. Do I know you? She asked cautiously. It's Meredith. From the neighborhood. The stranger smiled widely, her gaze flicking to Emily, then back to Jessica. We haven't seen each other since, well, forever. How are you? Jessica struggled to hold on to her own reality as memories surged like quicksand beneath her feet. She remembered the summers spent in the neighborhood, the laughter echoed in the streets, and the unbreakable bonds of childhood. But those memories felt distant, like shadows in the corners of her mind. I'm okay. Just caught off guard, I guess. You're here for the festival? Meredith asked, glancing at the vibrant decorations and the sounds of celebration in the background. It's such a great atmosphere. You look amazing, by the way. Thanks, Jessica said, forcing a smile. She wished that compliment could stick to her the way it once had, but it now felt like a mask. The smile faded quickly. Wow, what are the odds of running into you? Meredith laughed, her excitement infectious. We need to catch up. I was just about to meet some old friends from back in the day. You should join us. No, Jessica interrupted, the word sharper than intended. The warmth in her cheeks shifted to a chill. bringing to the fore all her unresolved feelings. I'm really here for a different reason, actually. Oh, Meredith chuckled nervously, sensing the shift in energy. What's up? I'm trying to figure some stuff out with my family, Jessica admitted softly, her walls suddenly rising against the flood of emotions. It's complicated. The laughter faded from Meredith's face, replaced by a look of understanding. I hear you. Family can be a lot, can't it? Jessica's heart tightened, her chest feeling as if it held a million words. Yeah, it's just seeing them again after everything. It's overwhelming. Meredith nodded thoughtfully. I get it. But sometimes reconnecting can lead to surprising moments. I had a rough relationship with my dad for years, and I finally decided to clear the air last Christmas. Changed everything. Jessica looked into Meredith's eyes, searching for a flicker of hope. Really? Just like that? Not just like that. But it was worth the hard conversations, Meredith said, her voice steady. We can't predict how they'll react, but we can control how we approach it. You already have your boundaries set, right? Jessica breathed in deeply. Yeah, and I'm keeping those in place. I won't let them disrupt my life again. Meredith smiled softly, pride evident in her expression. You're stronger than you think. Just be ready for whatever comes next. The two stood in a charged silence, the festival buzzing around them. Jessica could feel the weight of what was coming. Her parents, that conversation, and everything that was left unsaid. I should let you go, Meredith said eventually, her voice gentle. But if you ever want to talk, I'm here. It's good to have someone in your corner. Thanks, Meredith, Jessica said, feeling gratitude mixed with apprehension. She held the moment tightly, knowing the weight of connection often lay in unseen layers. As Meredith waved goodbye and disappeared into the crowd, Jessica felt an odd mix of anchoring and dislocation. This unexpected encounter was yet another thread woven into her already complicated fabric. Would it all lead to healing, or would it unravel into something painful? The more questions surrounded her, the faster her heart raced. And just as the reality of what she was about to face began to settle in, she caught sight of her parents through the throng of people, the familiarity of their figures drawing her into a maelstrom of emotions. What if this was her moment to confront everything? What if it would change the course of her life? Jessica's heart pounded, anticipation and trepidation colliding as she took a step towards them, uncertain yet resolute. Would she open her heart, or would she shield herself from yet another disappointment? Jessica's heart raced as she took her first cautious steps toward her parents, their faces both welcoming and unpredictable. They stood near a brightly lit stall, catching up with old acquaintances, laughter spilling from their lips like the confetti floating in the air. The vibrant colors and sounds of the festival faded into a blur as her focus narrowed on them. Just breathe, she whispered to herself, trying to calm the storm inside. The familiarity of their presence stirred emotions she hadn't tapped into for years of unresolved arguments and satirical family gatherings. Her mind replayed every moment, every fracture. As she neared, her father turned, catching sight of her. His eyebrows arched in recognition, a mixture of surprise and warmth flooding his features. Jessica! He called out, his voice cutting through the din of the crowd with easy familiarity. Her mother spun around, her eyes lighting up, almost like spotting a long-lost treasure while rummaging through old memories. Sweetheart! Her mother's arms extended toward her, an instinctive reaction, a call for comfort. Jessica hesitated, wrestling with the instinct to lean into the embrace she once craved. But now, such gestures felt freighted with complications. Hi, Jessica managed, her voice barely a whisper against the roar of the festival. It felt surreal, standing there in the chaotic mix of joy and nostalgia. The smiles plastered on their faces clashed against the turmoil within her, making her stomach twist. Look at you. So grown up, her mother exclaimed, brushing her hand over Jessica's cheek, an affectionate gesture she had missed. How long has it been? Too long. About a year, Jessica replied, her eyes flicking towards her father, who stood silently, his gaze searching. The small talk felt forced, as if they were trying to find their footing on a wobbly tightrope. We're just enjoying the festival. Got a great spot for the fireworks later. Her dad chimed in, his voice a blend of excitement and nervousness, as if trying to fill the gaps with enthusiasm. You should join us. Actually, I wanted to talk about everything. The words slipped out before she could snatch them back. The atmosphere shifted, tension slicing through the cheerful haze like a knife. Her parents exchanged a glance, one that spoke volumes about years of missteps and hurt feelings. Everything, her mother echoed, the brightness of her smile dimming as uncertainty colored her voice. Yes, everything, Jessica said, firm yet unsure. She realized that it leaned heavily on her to guide this moment. We never really talked about what happened before I left. I think we need to. All right, her father said slowly, the weight of the moment settling in. Why don't we find a quieter place to sit? The determination was there, but also a hint of dread. Jessica nodded, and they moved away from the bustling festivities toward a less crowded park area bathed in soft light, where fairy lights floated like stars in the night. The ambience felt tender, a fragile glimmer of hope amidst the impending storm. With every step, her heart thudded like a drumbeat urging her onward. This was the moment she had been postponing. The conversations they avoided bubbled just below the surface, and everything she had been carrying pulled at her shoulders. Once they settled on a wooden bench, the silence loomed. The sounds of laughter faded into the background, replaced by the echo of her own uncertainty. She began, but words escaped her like butterflies, fluttering away too fast to catch. Jessica, her mother prompted gently, brushing her fingers through her hair as if still trying to smooth the wrinkles of lost time. What's on your mind? Jessica took a deep breath, feeling the shift in the atmosphere. She needed to speak, needed this truth to come out. But just as the words started to form in her mind, a sudden uproar of laughter drew her attention back to the festival. In that moment, she realized how much this conversation had the potential to reshape everything. It would either repair the cracks or deepen the fissures of their family. Let us talk, but I'm scared, she admitted finally, her voice cracking under the weight of emotion. But before anyone could respond, a loud crash echoed nearby, followed by a flurry of shouts. Jessica turned, heart racing again as chaos erupted in the distance. What was that? Her mother asked, breathless, leaning forward. Jessica's mind raced. Would this interruption change everything? Or was it just another distraction from the difficult conversation she so desperately needed to have? Should we check it out? Her father asked, glancing at Jessica, uncertainty etched on his face. As she looked toward the crowd, she felt a sharp dividing line. Would she leap towards the chaos or anchor herself in the moment to confront her family? With adrenaline pumping through her veins, she wrestled the decision swirling in her mind. What would she choose? What if this moment was the key to everything she had ever wanted? Jessica stood frozen, caught between the tug of urgency and the overwhelming weight of unresolved emotions. The chaos in the distance, laughter mingled with screams, was like a loud siren competing for her attention. She could feel her heart thudding, each beat urging her to do something. But what? Maybe we should find out what's happening, her mother suggested, glancing nervously at her father. Jessica watched their faces, eager yet anxious, hoping for direction but unsure of what she truly wanted. Or we could stay here talk, Jessica replied, feeling small against the backdrop of the festival, the joy seemingly a world away from the sadness settling in her chest. Her father glanced toward the noise, conflicted. We don't want you to feel pressured, he said softly, his voice a steady anchor. It's your choice, Jess. Either way, we're with you. I need to face this, Jessica whispered, the truth of her words stirring something deep within her. The chaotic energy pulling her toward the laughter was seductive, but she held tight to her resolve. Then let us talk, her mother said, nodding. In that moment the chaos faded, replaced by the intimate bubble of their shared space. She could feel the warmth of her family close by. Yet the barriers felt solid, walls built over the years now towering between them. I've spent so much time feeling lost, Jessica finally admitted, her voice trembling as she pulled the courage from somewhere within. It's just it hurt. What happened before I left? Her heart raced as she caught her parents' eyes. Their expressions shifted from concern to empathy, a silent agreement to delve into the raw emotions they had all been avoiding. We know you needed space, Jess, her father said slowly, choosing his words carefully. We didn't realize how much we were pushing you away, how much we were hurting you. Her mother interjected, tears gathering in her eyes. It was a moment of vulnerability, and Jessica yearned to reach out, yet hesitation lingered. How do you embrace the people who once hurt you the most? Taking a breath, she forged ahead, anxious but determined. I felt like I couldn't breathe in that house anymore. I thought if I left, maybe I could find a way to breathe again. Her voice was cracking, echoing the fractures of the past. I felt alone. They sat in silence for a heartbeat, the weight of anguish swelling amongst them like a tidal wave. In that moment, Jessica noticed a shift in her father's expression, a dawning realization spreading across his features. "Jessica, we never wanted you to feel that way," he said, his voice thick with emotion. "We were trying to protect you, but sometimes we hurt the ones we love most without even realizing it." Jessica could see the guilt etched into their faces. It was raw, achingly familiar. But could they really face it together? Would acknowledging the past be enough to rebuild? "I thought you were angry with me for leaving," she said quietly. "That you'd given up." "We never gave up," her mother whispered, tears spilling down her cheeks. "We just didn't know how to reach you." Jessica offered a timid smile through the veil of vulnerability that enveloped them. This was a bridge, perhaps not the one she envisioned, but a connection rekindled. "I want to try to fix things if we can." Before they could respond, a second crash rang out through the festival crowd, louder this time, shattering the tender moment. Jessica felt the familiar tightness in her gut as anxiety wrapped around her once more. "Should we go see what's happening?" her father asked again, his tone shifting from cautious to protective. "No," Jessica said, shaking her head. "Not yet. Let us not lose this moment." For once, those words felt like a lifeline, anchoring her in this vulnerability. It was raw, messy, and incredibly real. She wanted to dive into the emotional depths and explore every crevice of their shared pain. But she couldn't ignore the remaining tension in the air, the unseen chaos lurking nearby that could threaten to pull them apart again. Her heart raced at the prospect of what lay ahead. Would this conversation lead to the healing she craved? Or would the shadows lurking around them push them back into silence? Suddenly there was an echo of laughter again, this time. It felt twisted, charged with a hint of danger. Jessica froze, the laughter cutting through the atmosphere like a chilling specter. What if we aren't ready for what's about to unfold? She thought, the gravity of what loomed nearby weighing heavily on her mind. The truth was out there, but would they be straying too far into chaos now? Would it break them once more? Jessica's heart pounded as her eyes darted toward her parents. The laughter that had once seemed festive now rang ominously like a warning bell. She could feel the tension throbbing in the air around them, thick with the unknown. The crashing sound, coupled with the laughter, seemed to promise chaos, calling on her instincts to run. "Did you hear that?" her mother whispered, her eyes wide, searching Jessica's face for guidance. "Yes," Jessica replied, her throat dry. "Doesn't he sound right?" Her father stood up, tension radiating from him. "I think we should check it out. We can't just ignore it." "No," Jessica interjected, desperation creeping into her voice. "Let us stay here. Please. I'm tired of running from everything. I want to fix this with you." Her parents exchanged glances, their own anxiety spilling into the space between them. Jessica could see the conflicting emotions in their faces, a desire to protect her, to comfort her, and an instinctive need to respond to whatever was happening out there. The sounds grew louder now, the laughter seeming to take on a different quality, echoing through the air with a manic edge that made the hair on the back of her neck stand up. "I can't ignore this," her father said, voice firm yet laced with concern. "Something's wrong. We need to make sure you're safe. We can talk later." Jessica held her breath as her heart sank. "But what if you're wrong? What if it's exactly what I'm afraid of? I don't want to lose you both in this madness." Her mother reached for her, a comforting hand that brought warmth but felt like a tether to the storm brewing beyond their bubble. "Jess, we're not going anywhere. But we can't let fear hold us back either. Let us just step out together now." Jessica interrupted again, her voice sharper than intended. "What if they're just pretending? What if it's a show or something?" The thought of facing another wave of hurt, another reality of chaos, tightened her chest like a vice. She knew festivity could mask a deeper pain, one she felt gagging inside her own throat every time they swept things under the rug. "Jessica," her father started, but her gaze turned desperate. "I need you both here with me. Right now. We can't turn away from this moment, not again." The uncertainty flickered across her parents' faces, but a crack of understanding softened the turmoil. They were all scared. They all carried their own secrets and burdens. For the first time, Jessica felt the gravity of their shared pain like threads weaving them together, both fragile and strong. Suddenly, the laughter and chaos crescendoed into a clash. They heard a shout, a desperate cry piercing the revelry like glass shattering. The urgency to move washed over them in a wave. "What if we need to go?" her father asked, his voice a blend of concern and alarm. "Let us promise to come back," Jessica urged, meeting their eyes. "Promise we'll return to this. We just have to know for sure what's happening out there." Jessica felt her heart in her throat, afraid of what they might find, but equally terrified of remaining stagnant. They nodded, the resolve in their eyes reaffirming the bond they were rebuilding. In that moment, the chaos morphed into a call they could no longer ignore. "Together?" her mother asked, squeezing Jessica's hand. "Together," Jessica echoed, steeling herself as they moved toward the raucous din. The world outside her family cocoon was chaos, alive with uncertainty. As they stepped into the fray, Jessica's pulse quickened, aware that this moment might lead to either healing or a greater divide. And as her family crossed the threshold, drifting from the quiet bubble they had created, a chilling realization settled. Sometimes the truths we fear most are hiding in plain sight, just waiting for us to confront them. What awaited them in the chaotic swirl of the festival? Would they find the answers they sought? Or would the truths tear them apart again? Jessica, her head spinning in a whirlwind of emotions, stepped through the threshold of uncertainty into the chaos outside. The laughter now pulsed with an edge of distress, mingling with sporadic shouts that sent thrillers of anxiety down her spine. She clutched her mother's hand tighter, grounding herself in the present even as the unknown loomed larger. "It sounds like a fight," her father remarked, scanning the scene with concern. Yet, even in the din there was a strange twist to the sounds, a bizarre combination of laughter, like shadows dancing with the light. When they rounded a corner, a shocking sight met their eyes. A small crowd had gathered around two teenagers, intertwined in what looked like a spat-turned-playful wrestling match. Jessica's heart dropped for a moment. Her instincts, pulled taut like a rubber band, were ready to leap into action. "Is this really it?" she thought, her pulse racing as curiosity and frustration battled within her. "After all we faced, could it be just this?" But then she noticed something shimmering in the air, needed laughter capturing the moment. And amidst the crowd, people began to cheer them on, encouragement pouring in like sunshine. The chaos drew her in, yet she stood rooted, looking at the faces around her, wildly joyful yet deeply charged with their own currents of emotion. "Look at them," her mother said softly, gesturing toward the teens entwined in this playful frenzy. "We've all been so serious." Everyone ignores how communal joy can slip into something so chaotic yet freeing. Jessica felt a wave of understanding wash over her. "This is it," she whispered, processing the revelation. "This is us struggling, laughing, wrestling with our past while trying to create new memories." "Jessica, come on," Emily called from behind them, breaking through the cloud of uncertainty. She had joined the gathering, and their eyes met over the bustling bodies. Her friend's expression was a mix of amusement and encouragement, hands waving wildly as she joined them, her enthusiasm contagious. "Step towards the joy. Let us not run from the chaos just because it feels overwhelming," her friend shouted above the noise, tilting her head toward the spectacle. "Maybe this is our sign," Jessica murmured, feeling a warmth unfurl in her chest. They had come together to face their past, yet here they were, deflecting tension into laughter. She took a breath, the simple joy igniting a spark in her heart. "Let us join them," she suggested, her voice breaking through the din, filled with newfound hope. "Let us stop hiding." Her parents exchanged unsure glances but soon nodded, surrendering to the moment as the heaviness around them shifted. With a push, they moved through the throng, laughter flowing like water cascading from a waterfall, bridging the gaps that had long lain dormant. As they approached, Jessica felt the electric thrill of belonging, encouraged by her parents' tentative optimism tugging her forward. Suddenly, they were right there in the thick of it, pairs of eyes flashing excitement. As the joyful commotion surged around them, Jessica grabbed her father's hand and pulled him close, sharing in the moment, surrendering to the infectious energy that surged through the crowd. "Remember how we used to laugh like that?" she asked, a smile breaking through all the heavy notes. "Let us be us again." Her father chuckled, a sound full of warmth and nostalgia. Jessica caught her mother joining in the laughter, the barriers of vulnerability crumbling like sandcastles under waves. This was the transformation they all needed, surprising and raw. As the skirmish ended in an uproar of cheers, the world around them glowed brighter. In that little bubble, they let go of their past. They embraced the present unconditionally. The urgency that had once suffocated them now compelled them toward connection. Then something miraculous happened. She heard the crowd's heart race with them, the beat matching the rhythm of healing and laughter shared in their light. She glanced at Emily, who stood at the periphery of the group, beaming pride and support like a lighthouse guiding them through the storm. "Feel that?" Emily yelled, practically glowing. "You're finally breaking free." Tears brimming in her eyes, Jessica nodded, drawing her parents a little closer, laughter now tethering them together, a thread they had long thought cut. Life isn't just about avoiding chaos. It's about facing it, wrestling with it, and learning from it. The boundaries felt less like walls, but more like a foundation rebuilding itself in a matter of moments. This day would be the marking point of their transformation, no longer a struggle to navigate between pain, but a journey filled with potential, reaffirmation, and unconditional love. As they walked back to the festival, now bursting with color and life, Jessica turned toward her parents. "Together," she said, her voice full of conviction, "we'll rebuild our family one step at a time. Starting now." Her mother squeezed her hand, their collective strength wrapping around them like a warm embrace. They were in it together, ready to forge ahead hand in hand, laughter and tears blending in the rhythm of a hopeful tomorrow. And as the sun began to set, painting the sky in hues of orange and pink, Jessica felt an overwhelming peace settle within her heart. They still had a long road ahead, but today they stepped into that journey together, alive in each moment, open to every possibility. This was the moment, and they were ready for it. If this story moved you, now is your chance to join us on more incredible journeys. Subscribe immediately to the channel, so you don't miss the next exclusive stories. Leave a like now to feed the algorithm and keep our community thriving. Comment below with your thoughts and feelings about Jessica's transformation. And don't wait not even one more second to share this video with at least 5 friends who need to hear this message of hope and healing. True fans understand that every interaction supports the heart of this channel.